Holy shit, guys. Mickey is back! Oh my god, let's talk about it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Take care of yourself, darling.
We're mixing it up today.
This one's for Etta.
Good old Etta.
You forgot to say I'm back.
Phil's back too, guys, but
Me and Mickey. Is it a coincidence that I return on the same night Mickey returns? I think not. Is it a coincidence that Casper dies when I go to Cuba? I think not.
guys, yeah, I actually didn't say that last week. We forgot. But Phil went to Cuba, and when he got there, Fidel Castro died.
And now we're all kind of wondering about Phil's side life.
That's right.
As a hitman.
Yeah.
Well, Phil, we're glad to have you back.
Of course.
We're super excited. But I'm sorry, the bigger news is that Mickey is back.
Mickey is back.
I mean, he's back in a big way.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's back and he's gone. Now he's in Mexico.
Yeah, but he's not gone. I mean, he's here for the rest of the season at least.
We'll find out.
Are you excited?
I was excited to see him. You know, I thought it was great. However, I don't like where it ended up. And we'll talk about it.
Yeah. JJ, where can they
Yeah.
find you on social media?
Hey, guys, you can follow me at JJ Jurgens.
Hey guys, you can find me on Instagram at Bonjour and on Twitter at Juliet Bonjour.
And that was slower. You said it so much slower. She said she always says it so fast, people probably don't even know what she's
That's
saying.
why I have like 0 followers.
But it's so beautiful how you say it.
Bonjour, Juliet. There we go.
Love it. Phil, where can they find you?
Right here talking about lip.
You guys can
Such a
find me.
tease,
Yeah,
such a
right?
tease.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hayley Clover. Yeah, let's start with lip. Oh, man. I almost started crying during this episode with him when he ends up at Helene's house. And we said right from the beginning, when they show you scenes from past episodes, all of a sudden she was back in the recap, and we were like, oh gosh, she's coming back. Didn't really know how or if she was actually going to be, a big part again. But we see that he breaks into her house when he's just totally blacked out drunk. And, there was a moment where he looked so unbelievably helpless and scared. Yeah. And I was just so upset for him. What do you think about, this whole situation? People trying to tell him that he needs to get his shit together, but no one actually really making him get his shit together.
I hope that's going to be a wake-up call for him because, yeah, like you said, that whole interaction was so intense, and she tells him, she's like, you have to move on. And I think he's just so drunk that first off, he doesn't know where he is, and then he's just like, I can't believe I ended up here. And so at the end, I'm guessing he's going to an AA meeting, but he's also chugging his beer.
Same building as his first rehab.
Yeah. But at the same time, he chugs a beer as he's going in. So
hopefully that was
one
like
for
the
the road.
last.
one for the road.
Yeah.
Well, it's not
Right,
going to be an
last
easy
straw.
road for sure. So maybe he's taking a step in the right direction, but a lot of work needs to be done.
I was glad to see him go in that meeting because the way it was all going, and after he left Helene's house, I thought that it might be the bad case scenario that we were talked about, last week on there. So I'm hoping that it doesn't end in a super sad moment for us in these last 2 episodes. I'm hoping this is like the first kind of to get it back to the positive again.
I think that I realized like this is the start of what Frank used to be. This is it's similar to his life, except Frank is always happy. Regardless of how messed up he is, like he always manages to find the good in his situation. And I think the difference is Lip doesn't. And I think that is actually some hope. Because
That's enough to make
motivate him.
not be Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't really, even think about it like that. But, yeah, I can see that because there's, I guess, those little moments of clarity where he realizes, like, I cannot be my dad. I cannot go down this path. Even though he, falls back, there are those little moments which I don't know if Frank ever thinks about.
Well, those moments when in the beginning of the episode when Frank and Monica are like giving him advice on how to be a drunk, and he's so upset by that, but he's on the same level as him at that point.
Well, and Frank even calls him a chip off the old block at one point, and I was like, oh man, that's got to sting so bad. That would, if that was me and I was Lip, I'd be like, seriously, F you.
Yeah.
Like, do not talk to me. Yeah. I know. It's sad.
And then when she's like, we can all get shit-faced together, and like her mom is encouraging this, and she's happy, and it's almost like she's been waiting for someone in their circle to join their awful habits.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they're just insane. Frank and Monica, let's talk about them now. We don't need to wait. Frank and Monica are Bonnie and Clyde, like you had said, somebody had said last week. This is exactly that kind of scenario.
They
and what
even
it's
said
gonna
it,
be again.
yeah.
Yeah, they even said it. That's
You
right.
said that
You
one,
said
right?
that.
Yeah.
When you saw the guns and you were like, oh God, here we go. First of all, their plans are so stupid. You know right from the beginning, like, none of this is going to work. Like, they're not going to
You
rob
streak.
shit.
Who's gonna streak? Yeah, they're terrible.
But they do then come up with their own idea, not anyone else's idea, because she stole that first police, interrogation room idea from an old boyfriend, I think she said. But they rob this casino bus. Frank immediately sees the opportunity that they're going to have readily available cash on them because they're going to the casino. And they bring in poor Neil to the mix, which... Kind of loved it. Loved it.
He had
Like,
a great time.
He had so much
He's
fun.
so cute.
He's the best. He's the best. Those old people had a lot of character too. That
Yeah.
one girl, they seemed all pretty calm. One of them's even flipping him off, like,
Yeah.
"Fuck you, I'm not gonna."
Yeah, she
give
called
you.
him scum.
Yeah.
She was like, scum? Yeah. Well, they're probably like, I've seen it all. Like, at this
Yeah.
point, really? Okay, fine. Take my $500 and get out of here. Or whatever. It wasn't even that much. We think they maybe got $1,000 off that bus.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on that bus.
Yeah. They didn't win that day at the casino.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure.
But yeah, Neil throws himself in front of the bus, and then they smack on the bus to make it seem like he hits him, and the bus driver immediately thinks that he does, and then they go in and steal the money, and then you can see Neil rolling himself away at the end, and Frank comes and picks him up and like pushes him forward. But Debbie is just totally pissed.
She handled that great, though.
Yeah.
Gotta get more money than 100. He's still Frank every time. It's like, come on, we're not stupid.
Mm-hmm. Well, my favorite thing also is that, again, like, remember last episode when Monica came back and Fiona was upset? She was like, oh, that's just, she was like, I'm so happy Monica got something. And Fiona was like, that's all it takes? Or it scared me because it gave us hope that, not hope, but that she's going to have so much appreciation for her mom and wants her back in her house and all that. And now she's like, no, these are the rules. You broke the rules. Get out of my house.
Right.
And she's stuck with it. So I'm very proud of Debbie in this episode.
Yeah. What do you think about Debbie continuously telling everyone and kind of almost having to sell Neil and her relationship? What do you think about that situation? Do you think she actually does love him? Or is she, saying this because she wants to make herself believe that she loves him and that this is a good situation? What are your thoughts?
I don't know if it's like in love, I don't think it's like in love, but I think she recognizes that this is the best situation she can get right now and that she does care for him and thinks that they each can help each other with certain aspects of their life. Like he's only going to, that they're just best for each other right now given the situation.
Right.
I think in a weird way too, she's realized what the past sort of her boyfriends have gotten her, which was that was mainly based on looks, and so this is something completely different. And the fact going back to the whole, I think it was 2 episodes when he says like I love you, Debs, and she says you can't lie, can you? And
Right.
it meant something to her. So I think she's more in love with perhaps that idea and loves the situation. So we'll see.
But I loved seeing her working and, being that strict mother, saying that there's going to be no alcohol, no drugs in the house.
Curfews.
Whatsoever. There is a curfew, and she does lock them out, even though they break into the bathroom. But she was, like you said, sticking to her guns on that one. And that is the side of Debbie that I love to see because that shows me that she's going to be a good mother, is really trying to care for Franny the best she can. And she does work, so she has a job now. Which
Not anymore.
She did,
Well,
yeah.
You fired.
She did, yeah. She did for a day or two, yeah. Which is too bad, but hopefully now Fiona, with the money that she sold out for, is going to give some to Debbie, maybe. Maybe not. So let's talk about
I
Fiona.
mean, yeah, I think, well, if nothing else, Debs can find another job at a Fluff and Fold.
Yeah,
Well, she could work in Patsy's.
right.
Well, she
Yeah,
can't
now
bring the
that-
kid there. Well, I guess maybe she could.
Maybe. Oh God, they're bringing in Drunk Lip and everybody else. It's like, why
Hey,
not
Lip
bring the
could've
baby
gotten
in, put the baby in, the office with the door open, and I don't know, figure it out. She needs a job. Girl needs a job.
Yeah.
Needs to make money. But Fiona gets an offer from Margot. Comes in at $80,000, which is the exact same that Fiona paid, and Fiona, I don't think thought about the money at all at first. It was more of a, like she said, I don't think my, conscience can let me sell this place. Like, I just bought it, like, last week, and I don't want to put Etta out. I think unbeknownst to her, too, she kind of hustled that lady or negotiated without even knowing that she was doing it up to $160K, double what she bought.
I think, you know what? I mean, it's shitty that, you know, I think Etta will be fine. If she really, like, Etta can move in to the Gallaghers. I mean, it's crazy enough there. But I think, you know, you take some money, you store it away, and if she wants to, take some of that money, invest it in something else. If she, you know, she really feels that way.
So you like the decision of her selling?
I do.
Okay. What do you guys think?
I do too. I think it was the right thing to do. In the beginning, when it was only $10,000, I was like, maybe not. But then, like, the offers keep coming and getting higher and higher, and it's just Debbie. Okay, is working there, and I get your concern because, like, your sister has a job, but that's not gonna last forever. It's not gonna work there forever.
There's no way Debbie would have made $80,000.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
There's no way I don't think she would have made
when she was
$80,000.
figuring out even for the profits of what 3 was going to be in 3 years, then it was nowhere near. So it's like, yeah, I think she definitely made the right business.
And that was nowhere near 10,000 is what the math that she was doing for. So it was like, yeah, when she said 160, I was like, you've got to do it. I think I even said out loud, take it.
And Etta might be sad, might not be sad. The thing is that we don't know with her. Her mind is so all over the place that you don't know how long again she's going to stick around. So the two things they were pushing Fiona to keep the place are not going to be forever.
I mean, she's eating cat food, for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
she kind of needs to be in assisted living. She needs someone that can take care of her. That she needs to meet other people she can hang out with.
I think she might meet a new, little romance if she moves in there, you know?
Because she wanted to be down at those hip-hop, happy hour parties. She really still likes socializing. She needs to be around other people.
She'd be great in a home,
Yeah.
That was very great. I've got to leave you. Take care of yourself, darling. That was a good song. That Howling something, right? Howling Moons?
Yeah, that was the song we opened up to.
Yeah.
That was her favorite song, and she just wanted to dance, and she was so upset that she missed the DJ.
Yeah.
So Fiona pulled it up on her phone, which was a really cute moment. And you could tell that Fiona felt pretty guilty in that moment because she, started to cry when they were dancing, and I think was more worried about Etta, obviously, in that situation than anything else. But I think it's for the best.
I do too, and I'm hoping she can keep a connection with her and go visit her at this home and stuff. Because I also liked having Fiona have like a grandparent figure, have somebody there that she could, talk to and like
right, and she clearly cared for her. She was making her bed upstairs and bringing her donuts and making sure she wasn't eating cat. And then it was like, food's food.
I know, and that huge sign that says human food.
Human food. Yeah. Oh my God. Has anyone tried like cat food or dog treats?
No.
I've eaten a dog treat.
Well, there is a dog treat that you can eat. There's this one I get for my dogs, and every time, like the person
and JJ eats them like chips.
I do know that they taste like Teddy Grahams. And then when the person told me it the first time, I was like, yeah, thanks. No, I'm not. I don't think I'll be. And then one time I stopped by to pick them up on my way home from work, and I was so hungry. So I was like, blueberry,
what about your dog?
Let's see.
You get home, your dog's like,
I know.
what the fuck?
They do look at me now like they think it's people food because they're like, oh, she eats it. Like they're called Grandma Lucy's. So if I ever say Grandma Lucy, they freak out. But
that's so funny.
Yeah, but as far as like I feed them the canned food, so that just makes me like the smell of that makes me gag. So
Wet dog cat food
so
is by
imagine
far
her
the
eating that.
worst
Yeah.
smell ever. I'm taking care of a dog right now. I'm dog sitting, and I have to go feed it after this, actually.
And you're gonna
it
eat a little
takes wet
snack.
dog food. No, and I'm just like, I hate touching that stuff.
By the way, here's my prediction. We kick Svetlana out. Kev, V, and Fiona buy a new bar.
With the money that she just got.
Good one.
I
good
think,
one.
because I do think that Fiona still has that mindset of wanting to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And now she has
This
the
was
ability to.
Well, and this was a good situation for her because she did make a turnaround so quickly on
Who
that
the
money.
F doubles profit
Yeah.
in less than a
It's
week?
like 2 weeks.
Or do you think the new bar? Do you think she buys that one back from Svetlana somehow?
Oh, maybe she. Well,
And then
because
she's
the alibi
gone.
does have such sentimental value to
Yeah.
them that I don't know if they'd want to open a new bar.
Yeah.
It depends. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, okay, so the throuple, the aftermath of Svetlana, stealing
Is she
stealing
evil?
the bar.
What did you guys come up with last week? Is she evil?
Well, I had said a couple weeks ago, like, something's gonna go wrong. Like,
All the
there's
fans
just
were.
something so shady about this.
See, I read your comments.
Yeah. And, there it is. And remember this whole time, I was like, something's gonna go on with the kids or the adoption. That whole thing was weird to me. Well, you know, we find out today there was no adoption whatsoever. She was having him sign these notes, and they clearly weren't reading. They were so
Yeah.
trustful with Svetlana, and V was in love, and, you know. And now they just signed everything away. Their bank accounts, like, everything is in Svetlana's name. What's the next step here?
I mean, it sounds shady, but to go back to her speech in the therapist of like, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this.
Okay, do you think that she honestly is being honest now? She's like, this is the best for everybody. I am going to run it because I know how to make the money. I know how to manage the bar, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, she was starting to turn a profit, and I do believe, like, in all the years that we've seen them, you know, I mean, they haven't really made a profit.
But couldn't she have done that without having them sign over everything?
Well, she said that they would have had her convinced otherwise. Kev asked her, he's like, well, why didn't you just tell me this up front? She's like, you'd have said no. So is that right, wrong? I don't really know.
But with her, though, they were doing so much with each other's kids and everything. I feel like if she would have went to them and said, hey, you guys suck at doing this, just let me do it, they would have said yes, and she wouldn't have had to change over the names on anything.
Yeah, I mean, I get it that she is the best at it, but yeah, there's something still that doesn't sit right with me at all. And I feel like she always is kind of, you know, she's out for herself first, you know, and I feel like she could just...
Well, and there's no way now that they could trust her. I mean, V is totally heartbroken. She throws all of her clothes out the window, burns them. I mean...
The cop scene was so funny, too.
Yeah, that was funny. She's like, ma'am, did you notice the fire on your lawn? And she just sits there like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually enjoyed it when she was like, your husband pissed you off, and she's like, wife, and she's like, okay, just make sure it's fine. And she like walked away like, okay, whatever, I'm not getting into this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel really bad for V, but like we've said, a couple of us, we want Kevin V to be Kevin V again. Like, I never really liked Kev V and Svetlana. Love Svetlana as a character, I always have, because I always thought she was really great and funny. But
Kev enjoyed it for a bit. Him and his Viagra's and the donkey stuff. Come on.
Oh my God, remember that outfit?
Yeah.
But that's the elephant, right? That we in the first episode.
Yes,
we
the
guys
elephant.
The pink elephant. I watched that thing burn.
We still have to find one for Phil. We haven't forgotten.
But I think your face lit up. I think when he's with the lawyer and the lawyer calls him smart.
Oh my God, I even said, I love him so much, because he goes, thank you so much for saying that. Because she calls him stupid all the time. Yeah. Poor guy. I love Kev.
I do too.
He's such a good heart.
Okay, so now what do we think happens with them? Because V and Fiona finally put their shit aside.
That was my prediction last episode, I have to say.
Good job. Snaps for Juliet.
That was a great scene of how they actually came together. It wasn't. It was very realistic.
Yeah.
Well, it is, because there's so many friends, and you know can have falling outs or whatever, but you know that they're such a good friend that if they came and said, "Hey, I really need you," or "I really need to talk," you would absolutely sit down and talk with them, and that's what that scenario was. And like you said, I think it was so realistic. They sat down and said, so, you want to go first or me? And they just realized they both were having some really shitty times, and that they were only going to be better if they, you know, started talking.
They needed each other.
Yeah.
And they could do shorthand, like, because I was like, okay, who goes first? Because they both, like, you know, have a laundry list of problems.
Right.
So I thought they were going to be there for hours, but they were like,
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, we're caught up.
It was perfect.
Yeah,
It was
I
great.
love when Fiona said if we could stop being, like, egotistical, cunty bitches to
Yeah.
each other, that would be great. Yeah, I'm glad they're back. I love them together, and it's kind of just like, it's the group is coming back together, and that's all I want. Except
This
for,
was a reunion episode.
It was. I mean, yeah, we've got
Except for
characters
Jimmy
having-
Steve. I wanted him somewhere in there.
Yeah, it was kind of fun that they brought him up, Ian, when he's talking to Fiona about, you know, do you think that if you had actually run away with Jimmy Steve, what do you think your life would be like now? And, you know, she thought she would be on a psychopathic roller coaster, and she's probably right. But Ian's question of whether she would ever have that thrill again, and do you think that would bother you if you didn't, you do kind of, you think like that, like,
Listen,
People just get under
Frank
your
and Monica
skin.
have thrills too, and those aren't good thrills to have.
right.
So,
But have you ever had a girlfriend that you just, even still to this day, think about?
no,
You might not even be in love with them anymore, but there's always that, like, one person that you'll always kind of think about.
That went to jail, that sold drugs, that ran a prostitution.
Yes,
Well, I think
Phil,
there's
we
different
all have
ones.
one of those.
Because I think,
Just
like with
kidding.
these, they're saying there's that one that you have that thrill with, like that feeling
Right.
where it's maybe more passionate than any other person you've been with,
Well,
and stuff,
right.
you know. But then, but most likely when that exists, it's not the other things.
Not healthy.
Aren't right? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them bringing that back into because I thought that was again another very real conversation and nice to see the brother sister bonding on that because he knows that she understands that kind of feeling.
So who's happy Mickey's back?
Oh, I'm elated he's back.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I don't know how long he's gonna be back for, because that's a sticky plan they have.
Are you happy he's back because he's Mickey and he's just an amazing actor and
Yes.
he's just such a great character?
Yes.
Or are you happy because you wanted to see these two together again?
Former.
What'd you say? The
Former.
former?
I wanted to see them just have an interact. I didn't want to see him leave with him at the end. I wanted to see them back together again to let us all see that because I just love seeing those two together. But yeah, I didn't want him to make the choice that he made at the end. I wanted him to.
Well, I didn't know. I disagree because I didn't want Mickey to leave just yet. I think them too. We kind of have Bonnie and Clyde going. They're going across the country or whatnot. I don't think it's gonna last forever. I really think Ian's gonna come back and
And have his job?
Right.
hopefully he was sick for a really long time. That's what he'll tell the people.
Oh yeah, clearly.
Sorry, he's already got his first. Or
Yeah.
I don't think he'll
know
have
if
another
life
chance
works
there.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he worked so hard to become an EMT that to let this just totally blow that
Yeah.
like hurts me inside because
me
that speech Fiona gave him, I'm so fucking proud of you. She says, you have really made something of yourself and turned your life around and
And this guy's just gonna light a match to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think they're gonna look at a service type of job. I don't think it's gonna bode too well that you ran away with an escaped, convict.
well, that's the whole other problem. He can be arrested now after all of
Right.
this for
I mean, who's the first
know.
person they went to? Him.
yeah,
well, obviously.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now, where's Ian Gallagher? Oh, well, let me put two and two together.
exactly. Not a good move.
Well, and we can see from scenes for next week, they're already having issues at the border when Mickey was like, oh, no, I got it covered.
And then gunshots.
Well, because he cut his hair. Which, by the way, he looked awesome once he cut his hair.
He did.
Because he was so, grungy when it came
Yeah,
out. His hair was
terrible.
darker. I mean, he was more fit because he said
Yeah.
there's nothing to do but work out. And then he cut his hair. He was driving a nice Jeep. And I was like, you look really good.
Was it the TV where is his beard red? I thought that was weird because he has black hair. I didn't.
It
know
was
He did
that.
have a red beard.
Yeah.
I know. Black hair. Red beard.
I don't know if you ever saw one of the first things he ever did was Max Keeble's Big Move on Disney Channel. I will never forget him in this because it was like one of my favorite movies when I was young, and he had red hair. So I wonder if that's he had a red beard. So it's
men
possible
don't
that's
Dye
natural.
their beards.
I thought he would just dye it because of Ian.
Just the ginger team.
Yeah. Red hair, red beard. Why not?
No, I don't know, but yeah, if you want to see Mickey in an old movie, that movie is hysterical. Yeah, so I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see what happens
Indeed.
now.
Well, let me interject real fast, then we can come back to this.
Yeah.
See, we gave you a little tease. Take it back. So, speaking of things in the past, one of our great sponsors, Casper, we're here to remind you that they are a great mattress company. See, the problem is mattress companies have jacked all these prices, and so we're going to take back our mattress, as Frank would say. Because now, instead of having to go to the store, you get them directly to you. And so all you have to do...
It's like the Amazon of mattresses.
That's right. You go to Casper.com and you pick out a mattress and it ships to you. Now, it's spring latex and supportive memory foam. It's fantastic. I've slept on one, and when I say I've slept on one, I actually had one, but then it was so good that other people I live with stole my mattress. This is a true story because they loved it so much. Most mattresses cost at least $1,500 for the good ones. A twin size mattress $500. Twin XL $600. The highest priced one, a king size, for $950. That's
wow,
insane.
under $1,000. That is crazy.
And the problem is too, you go to the store and you try it out. You're like, okay, you try sleeping in it for an hour. Still was not going to give you how you're actually going to sleep. This is 100 days for free. So you get to try it out. If you for some reason you don't like it, which I don't understand why, then you just return it. No questions asked. It's
Love it.
that simple. And guess what? You get free,
Phil?
You get free shipping in U.S., Canada, and guess what? You get $50 off if you just type in the promo code AFTERBUZZ. So all you have to do is go to Casper.com/AfterBuzz and talk about wise choices.
Right. Getting yourself a damn good mattress.
That's right.
Yeah. I actually have seen a lot of NFL players buy the mattress.
You know, if it's
So-
good enough for NFL players, it's
They have
good.
to really watch their bodies, so it must be good for sleep.
That's right. So,
Well, thank you, Phil.
but yeah, Mickey, you know, I'm very curious because for how many times have we always talked about Mickey and Ian, and if God forbid, like someone says a negative thing in any way, shape, or form, they're hounded. Even the actors, and that's the funny part to me. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of them going to Mexico. I'm just not.
I don't know if they even are going to make it into Mexico.
I don't think they are.
It's
I
possible
really don't
that
think they
this storyline does end even in the next
Episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that Mickey comes back for a long term anyway, because he was, off the show, and they probably asked him to just come back for a little bit so he can finish this storyline completely. Maybe, I don't know. But it was really nice to see their passion again. I mean, he takes them to below the bleachers.
Uh-huh.
I mean, how many times did we see them under those bleachers in the beginning seasons? It's like that was their spot. And then they're by the boats, and when they first, hook up again, it's like, that's them. There they are. Oh my God. I mean, they just literally can't help it. Even the first time they saw each other, they kind of start fighting and pushing. I mean, it's so their relationship. They just fight and then make up and have sex, and then fight and have that passionate, sex again. And, oh God, it's just definitely so different than any other relationship that's been on the show.
It's destructive.
It is. And I know you guys love Mickey and Ian, but did you like this whole scenario? Did you like how he comes back? And did you like Ian's decision to go to Mexico? Comment below with us so we can read that and talk about it with you this week. Because I'm interested, with so many people being such big fans, is this how they wanted it to,
I was
back?
too when we were doing it. I was so into watching, but I also wanted to go and go on Twitter and just see what people were saying, which I haven't been able to do yet. So I'm
Well,
curious
Cameron
to find
Monaghan
out the reaction.
he just tweeted boom at Noel Fisher, and that was it.
Yeah, I know. I wonder what their thoughts are too, because they haven't worked together in a
a long
while,
time,
and they, had to have had such an amazing off-screen chemistry to be able to do all of this kind of stuff.
Well, I'm sure it makes you a lot closer.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they have to be so comfortable with each other. So it was probably like having a brother back, to do the stuff with. And
Brother,
Brother,
you
brother, you're sexist.
Hey, pull down your pants. Let's go.
That's why you're excited to see your brother at Christmas. You keep saying.
Oh!
Well, one, I said I'm not seeing my brother at Christmas.
Oh.
I'm actually not going home for Christmas. Thanks for bringing it up, JJ.
So you're not going to go to sleep with your brother at Christmas.
No.
All right.
And believe me, he's not my type.
Why? It's from the same family.
Good one.
I did go to school in West Virginia. You know how many jokes I got just from going to school? Oh my God. I've heard them all.
Have you?
Do we have any predictions for next week?
I hope so.
And
I'm
now,
hot, JJ.
your
Oh,
AfterBuzz
I'm not even
TV
embarrassed.
Now you know how I feel.
Phil, don't worry. I'm going to talk about your penis at least once more this season.
By the way, look, my mom was here yesterday, and Hayley just turns to me. She's like, "Does she watch the show? Because I need to apologize."
She does it.
Yeah, Hayley got off the hook.
Yeah. Whoops.
I should have just said yes and just seen you bumble your way
Yeah, but
through
my
this.
parents watch the show and see me ask all those questions. They're still so proud. Phil, do you have a prediction for me?
You know what? It's interesting, kind of what they tease each week. So obviously the Mickey and Ian thing is big. I'd be curious to see what Trevor thinks of this as this is happening. Wait, where did this guy go? Especially because it got kind of introduced with them. So I think Trevor might have a feeling about it as well. And we'll see how it's kind of handled. And I really want Ian to just realize on his own that this is a bad decision. So when he's getting shot at, Like, okay, this
we didn't-
might not be the right decision.
Yeah, we didn't really say too much about Trevor. I mean, he leaves without saying anything to Trevor, but he does call him that one time and say, I miss you. Like, he's so confused. And yet he just he just left. He just did it. I don't know, so we'll see Trevor's reaction too.
How many episodes do we have left?
2.
2.
Dos.
Oh,
As they say in Mexico.
Yeah.
Better start learning. Or Cuba. They say that in Cuba, too.
He learned so much when he went away, guys. Dos. Seriously, good job, Phil.
Listen, ask for a cerveza. They'd be like, no cerveza, señor. What?
Do you know how to say what? Okay.
Okay. That means there's no beer, trust me. There was no booze or music in fucking Cuba because of Castro.
Really? Is that serious?
Yes. That's the true story.
I saw the Kardashians go to Cuba, and this makes me sound really dumb, but on their show, and they went to a bar where they literally drank and danced.
No, it's
That was a great episode.
Casper died.
Yeah, it's just a morning time. They normally,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Anyway, back to the show.
Yeah, sorry.
You know, I don't know. I've already made my prediction in terms of what Fiona and Kevin V do with this.
Yeah. Yep, that's a good one. Juliet?
Monica is going to share the news of her illness to all of them. So we'll see who's going to react well and who's going to...
What's well?
I don't know.
Do you think they care at all?
I think Debbie definitely is going to care. Ian's gone. I don't think but he might care. Fiona is going to not care until the very, very last minute and might have a moment of like, oh, wow, it's my mom. I need to say goodbye to her. Who do we have left? Carl. Carl's far away. I don't know if he'd come back for this.
Yeah, I don't know if he comes back.
I don't
the
know
rest
if
of
we,
the season.
yeah.
I think, here's the thing.
If they do, it's just a teaser, and it's not.
He's good. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason for him to come back.
They got to do something though. Like I think we might get one of those little teases at the
Right
end of
before
an
the end
episode.
of the
Yeah,
season.
like just
Yeah.
a 2-second little
Because
thing
I
from
see him
him.
coming back next season either completely changed to where he's like a whole different
Yeah.
person, or comes back and he's like,
Cornrows?
military sucked, like, whatever.
Cornrows.
Cornrows.
I think it'll be like preppy military guy, like
Yeah.
ripped and like, hardcore service
That's
guy.
why he's out for the rest of the season. They've got him
Getting
on
buff.
serious training.
I don't think, you know what? I really don't want him to mourn Monica.
I don't either.
You know what I mean?
I don't
it's
either,
it's
but
a
I
weight
think in
off
some
their shoulders
fucked
that
up
they don't
way,
have to...
they're all going to be kind of sad.
Yeah.
Maybe not outright like they're going to act like it, but there's still some part of you that when your mom dies, that there's got to be some kind of thought like,
But here's the with Monica...
you mourn the mom you didn't have now. Like now there's literally no
Yeah.
chance
Right.
that your mom's going to be a good mom.
Yeah, very true. And no matter how awful of a mom, like, that's the person who gave you life, so she gave you life.
Right.
Like, there's nothing
He
else to
literally came out of her vagina. Yeah.
See, because in Monica, they're going to read it. Hopefully they'll read it as such that she's just trying to use this as an excuse to get them back together.
Yeah.
Very true.
And although obviously, they can prove to the kids that this is this is actually happening. She's not just saying this. I think that's beside the point. They're gonna be like, okay, like that doesn't change what you did and didn't do for us.
Right.
Just, you know what? There's certain things just, and it may be cold, but off to the side and done with.
I totally agree with you in life. That when you get, as old as they are now, and as long as she's been doing this, I agree. You kind of just have to kind of
Like at least
Yeah, get
it's
over it.
closure.
like, yeah,
It is. Yeah, in a sense, closure.
Let it
She'll
go.
never come back.
yeah.
She'll never come back randomly and screw up whatever they've got going on.
Yeah, that's where I think there will be the sadness that they lost their mom, but I think it will be a freeing thing for them.
Yeah. I agree.
And I think your prediction was right earlier. We're gonna maybe they're not gonna buy a bar, but Fiona is definitely gonna do some very exciting things with her new cash.
Yes.
And Edda's getting a man.
Yeah. Well,
Wendell!
Yeah.
Wendell, where can they find you on social media so you can talk to them all week about Shameless?
Hey guys, you can find me at JJ Jurgens on Twitter and JJ.Jurgens on Instagram.
You can find me on Instagram at Bonjour Juliette and on Twitter at Juliette Bonjour.
And shamelessly tweet at Cameron Monaghan, tell him we want him back in.
Yes.
I'll work on my magic behind the scenes as well. And Shanola Hampton, she's been on every season pretty much with
Yeah,
us.
tweet her too. I'm gonna
She's
try to work
awesome.
on that one.
Yeah.
It always comes down to scheduling, so it's not like
Yeah.
obviously they've been here before, they want to be here. It comes down to scheduling, but maybe it's that extra push that you give them.
Tweet.
Extra push. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, comment below so we can talk to you all week, and you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Hayley Clover.
You forgot CPT and some fuckeries going on.
Oh, yeah, colored people time.
Liam is on Colored People Time.
Doesn't have many lines, but that one is a good one.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.